Hey everyone. Besabar by Talhah Yunus.
Hmm. This
For
sounds
viewers,
interesting.
yes, for viewers, I mean, it dropped yesterday and we got a notification and we couldn't wait. We had to listen together. For viewers, Talhah Yunus is
Hmm.
part of Young Sinners. He also does solo work.
Hmm.
And probably our viewers know that we love Young Sinners to the core, right?
We just
Absolutely
love them.
adore them, absolutely love them. And equally so Tala Yunus, right? And their work,
Equally so.
and their
Yeah.
poetry, and yeah, their rap, and everything. So, one thing before we jump into this track for our viewers who don't know Young Sinners, for me personally, very subjective. For me, why I love them is for their poetry and their message, their deepness in their lines, in their writing. It's so deep you can drown. So we would try to cover that as much as possible.
Yeah. The depth is insane. Let's jump
Insane,
to it.
right? Like, let's do it. Three, two, one, play.
Jokhay.
ये अर्ज़े रब्बे असर बावफा तो बेकदर यार बोले दे खबर मैं दुनिया से बेखबर ए खुदा मुझे दे सबर तू साथ है तो किसका डर वो देता हर दिल में घर तो क्यों इतना बेसबर जिंदगी खेल नहीं ये सिर्फ एक तमाशा है कितनों को जेल हुई जुर्म में इजाफा है हम आना के देर हुई इस कलम से वादा है इस जंगल को शेर नहीं अंधेरा सिखाता है मैं कलम उठाता तो खुदा चलाता है भाई तो सिर्फ गाता है तो आए
Oof.
कुछ लोगों की कितनी कहानियों का ये खुलासा है खून से रंगे खाके शायद खुदा ही घर तक पहुंचाता है हिजर की शाम में ये फिक्र ही अपनों को नजदीक लाता है जरूरत जात की माँ होती है तो मैं कितनों का बाप हुआ तेरी खुराक हूँ क्या सब लिखा हुआ बांट दूं क्या तेरा
Wow.
मिजाज हूँ क्या कला को
Wow.
अपनी मिटा दूं क्या सोचा खुदा से अब मांगूं क्या मर्जी को अपनी चला दूं क्या लाशें पड़ी सड़कों पे लोग मरे खर्चों से शोर पड़े सड़कों पे रोज मरे कर्जों से सरेआम कत्ल देखे इन्हीं लड़कों ने निकले वे वो भी जो सो रहे थे परसों से ठीक है हम खुद को बदलते हैं सूरज से जलते हैं मशरिक में ढलते हैं तारों से लड़ते हैं जीते जी चर्चे अब तो यूं मर भी गए तो अमर से हैं अलग मेरी लेन खाली मेरी पेन
Wow.
रखो असला ही नहीं मसला ही नहीं पर वो रास्ता नहीं तेरी इन बदमाशियों पे
Signature.
हंसता भाई मुद्दे पे आ सीधा मस्का नहीं सांप सपेरे को डसता नहीं फेंको
Wow.
उसूलों का बस्ता नहीं लोगों की नजरों से बचता है नंबर प्लेट काली काले शीशे मेरे यार वही सर पे जिम्मेदारी बॉटल खाली ये कतार वही बादलों से गाने दो उम्मीदों के पहाड़ वही काफिले तो बन चुके और कर चुके कमाल भी अपनी हर ख्वाहिश से डरते हैं अपनों की खातिर तो भूखे भी मरते हैं लिखते हकीकत सब महसूस करते हैं हम तो मुनाफिक को भी आशिक करते हैं जिंदगी खेल
Oh.
नहीं ये सिर्फ एक तमाशा है देखी दोपहर नहीं रातों का राजा मैं
Oh.
हमारा के देर हुई पर अपनों से वादा है इस जंगल को शेर नहीं अंधेरा सिखाता है तंग आ चुके क्या वो रंग आ चुके सादे पर जीने के ढंग आ चुके बद्दुआएं बेअसर ये सर ना झुके ये दागे दिल तेरे ही संग आ चुके खुद से बिछड़ने लगे वो कदर ना रहे रातें घर ना रहे तेरे पर आ चुके रंजिशें बढ़ती लोग सोचे कौन गलती पे नंगे पाँव चलते रहे अपनी मर्जी से सूखे गले प्यासे मरते क्या गर्मी से सीखे कितने या मेरी गलती से ये मेरी उल्फत ये मेरा खुलूस है मेरी कलाकारी मेरा सबूत है फारिग कानून कोई कैसे महफूज है मेरा सवाल किसी का उरूज असर
Oof. Oof.
बेअसर
Oof.
बावफा तो बेगदर यार बोले दे खबर मैं दुनिया से बेखबर ए खुदा मुझे दे सबर तू साथ है तो किसका डर वो देता हर दिल में घर तो क्यों इतना बेसबर हर जहर बेअसर बावफा तो बेकदर यार बोले दे खबर मैं दुनिया से बेखबर ए खुदा मुझे दे सबर तू साथ है तो किसका डर वो देता हर दिल में घर तो क्यों इतना बेसबर
All right. All
Oh.
right. All right. Tell me, what do you think?
Oh. Okay, so at first I thought that this song is a rebuttal song for the song released by Tala Anjum few days
Sabar.
ago, and the title of the song was Sabar. And I thought that probably they are doing this Shikwa Jawab Shikwa sort of thing, but but the narrative of both the songs are entirely different. And I mean, I didn't get the entire gist of the song, what was the main purpose of this particular song, but one thing that I want to mention is that Talha Anjum's flow is becoming impeccable with every new release, and his lyrical prowess is also exponentially increasing, it seems. Like the line "Jungle ko sher nahi andhera sikhata hai" is
Oof.
amazing
But
line.
a small correction, that's Talhah Yunus. Um,
Sorry, Tala Yunus, not Tala Anjum.
yes,
My
before
mistake.
his fans jump on you, right? Right. I am one of his
Absolutely.
fans, so I'm gonna jump on you. But
No, no, Tala Yunus is seriously, he is becoming
his
impeccable.
writing, so yeah, his writing has this deepness, this that you can drown. जंगल को शेर नहीं अंधेरा सिखाता है,
Andhera
right?
sikhata hai.
Right. For viewers who don't know and who don't get a lot of these vocabularies, how would you pronounce that, right? How would you that the wild is not ruled by lions, or
Yeah,
it's so the wild, so you do not learn through fear,
through fear,
right?
absolutely.
Rather through ignorance.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
absolutely.
so deep. Okay, it's so deep.
So
Yeah,
deep.
yeah. At the end of the day, while when my mental faculties are completely consumed, I cannot translate it. But the next line, actually, I loved it more. I loved even more, which
Mm,
was मैं कलम उठाता तो खुदा
mhm.
चलाता है, भाई तो सिर्फ गाता है. But 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 this one, what killed me was दुआएं कुछ लोगों की कितनी कहानियों का ये खुलासा है.
खुलासा है.
दुआएं कुछ
Mm.
लोगों की कितनी कहानियों का ये खुलासा है. Meaning that you don't even know whose prayers are keeping you going,
Yeah,
and and this is a summary of so many people's lives, that they are just
summary. Yeah.
going based on people's prayers, their loved ones prayers. That is so deep.
I
There were
mean,
so many lines,
how do they? So many
so many
lines, so
lines
many
there's
lines.
so many lines that just, you just keep repeating in your mouth. When you are tasting something, some new food, you just roll it around your mouth, to like a wine. But here it's, by the way,
What can I say?
the second verse, I thought that this was based on current instability in Pakistan. लाशें पड़ी
It
सड़कों
is.
पे,
It is.
लोग मरे
It
खर्चों से.
seems like at least.
Yeah, the inflation, the instability, the
Yeah,
chaos, the corruption
absolutely.
taking over, the old, the political madness that is
Yeah,
happening
the
in,
chaos.
yeah,
Absolutely.
in Pakistan. I think I mean, he's from Karachi, so he's kind of immune to it, but also feels it in his bones, as we do, right?
Yeah.
But his second verse felt like he's talking about the current, um,
Political situation.
state
Yeah.
of the common
Instability. Yeah.
people and how they're
Yeah.
coping, right? शोर भरे सड़कों
Yeah.
पे रोज मरे कर्जों से,
कर्जों से.
रोज रोज मरे कर्जों से, सरे आम कत्ल देखे इन्हीं लड़कों ने. Karachi, that's Karachi, right?
That's the Karachi lingo.
That's Karachi lingo.
Pure, pure Karachi lingo.
Oh,
Like most of his rap, he's trying to touch or portray the social situation, as you mentioned.
yeah.
Like he, as he mentions, लाश पड़ी सड़कों पे लोग मरे खर्चों से. The dead bodies are all over the street, and people are dying of poverty and under
निक,
the stress of debts, right?
निकले
So
वो भी जो सो रहे थे
सो
बरसों
रहे
से.
थे बरसों से.
निकले वो
निकले
भी
वो
जो
भी जो
सो
सो
रहे
रहे.
बरसों से.
Oh,
right? So he's actually talking about. I do think that he's talking about people who actually came out in the streets, who never came out, who
who
never
never
used to,
came out.
right? Or the mommy daddy, the burger mom, right? We were those. Wow.
Among those.
Yeah, well, absolutely. I mean, सूरज से जलते
But
हैं मशरिक में ढलते हैं. Yeah,
oh, yeah, I think he's trying to ignite a spark and hope in his verses. Like when he mentions निकले जो भी सो रहे थे
yeah,
बरसों से,
yeah.
ठीक है हम क्या ठीक है हम खुद को ही बदलते हैं. Like
Mm,
सूरज से जलते हैं मशरिक में ढलते हैं. He's trying to show that he's willing to go against the tides of hardships and willing to go against all the odds. And this is pretty amazing writing. I still didn't get the core narrative, but this verse gave the current situation to us. What is happening, as you mentioned. Beautiful writing, Talhah Yunus. Seriously.
so some people, his critics, think that he's monotonous or his rhyme schemes are very similar, but for
Hmm.
me, I don't care. I only care. I love his writing. For me,
His writing.
his content as his writing, right? And also his so when I say his delivery, I love his delivery, and that, I mean, that's like um, goes counter to his monotonous rhyme
Hmm.
schemes that some people say. But what I love about his delivery is I always imagine that he sings them with a smile.
Hmm.
It's
Hmm.
in his voice. The
Yeah.
his delivery is very charming. That like
Yeah.
he always talks with a smile on his face. So
Yeah.
when even when he's talking about some grave matters and grave topics,
Hmm.
he's talking about them with a smile on his face.
Hmm.
And this is what I love about him.
Absolutely. What's interesting for me is the frequency with which Talhah Yunus and Talhah Anjum are dropping their tracks. The speed is insane. They just finished Coke Studio and they had three tracks there, two tracks there. Then they dropped Azmale in collaboration with Bilal, and then Talhah Anjum dropped Sabar, and now Talhah Yunus has dropped his Besabar. I think,
The hip hop scene is blooming.
hmm,
Is blooming. So we also saw that probably it was Talanjum's brother who also got into hip hop and rap.
yeah, hmm,
It's just exploding. I think it's the inception of that explosion that we are gonna see in coming years.
yeah,
Exciting times.
exciting times ahead.
So if someone knows or understands the narrative, please let us know. Please correct
Hmm,
us if we didn't get it right. But it's very subjective. People perceive music differently. It's just like your taste in food, right? For someone,
hmm,
some food would taste very different than others. So how we perceive or what our interpretation is of that song is very unique to us. But I would also love to hear other people's interpretation of the
yeah,
song,
absolutely.
right? So
True.
this is it. This is it for me.
This is it for me as well. So
All right, let's
we'll
let's
meet
hope for their
again.
yeah.
Yeah,
Let's hope for their album. We are hearing that they are gonna drop an album, or there's a big album
you were
coming out of
mentioning it.
Karachi,
You were
and
mentioning that.
yeah, and I'm just have fingers crossed.
Great, then let's bring some more good music in the next session and we continue from there.
See you then.
See you. Bye.
Bye.